guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my wrap up for just the end of November and beginning of December. I haven't read much. I got one book done and then I started a book that I was really excited about and thought this is going to be like one of my, top reads for this year, and then it was horrible and ended up being a DNF. So that kind of put me in a reading slump, and also I've just been wanting to relax and watch Christmas movies, so I haven't read as much, but let's talk about what I did finish, which would be, and I'm in my husband's office. He paints minis, so if you want one, let me know. Let's talk about Ava Evergreen, Semi-Magical Witch. This is the book that I finished, and it was fine. It is definitely middle grade. It is not one of those middle grade fiction books that I feel like translates well to adults. It's okay. I like the main character, but I did feel like the adults in this story were awful and it took a lot for me to believe that an adult would talk to a child the way that they talk to her. She is a young witch who's trying to become an apprentice. And she goes to the Magic Witch Council, and basically the head of that is this mean guy who tells her, I'm gonna take all of your witch power away, even though she doesn't have much. That's kind of the whole point. She's got a pinch of magic. And so he tells her, that's not enough. You don't deserve to be a witch. I'm going to take all of your power away and strip it out of your blood. And this kind of horrifies her, of course. And so she manages to convince this council that she should be allowed to go on her little witch quest, which she does. And she has to help a town. And then the mayor of the town signs off on her getting her apprenticeship. So that's kind of the story. Obviously there's trials and tribulations along the way, and she makes friends, and then there's this little magical creature that was another cute addition. But overall, I think it was there were no side characters that were very memorable. Ava herself is a good character. I liked her. I felt like she was relatable for a young girl. But yeah, the adults were really awful, and I really didn't get it. I was like, why aren't her parents stepping in? Why? And she's 12, 13. Adults should not be speaking to her this way. They shouldn't be acting this way with a child. So it was okay. I would say 3.5 stars. I would say if you want to read it with your kids, or, go into it knowing this is definitely a kid book. But overall, it was fine. All right, so next let's talk about what I'm currently reading, which is the third book in the pack of Dawn and Destiny. So this is a series by Shea that I'm really enjoying called Magiford, Supernatural City. And this is urban fantasy, and I really like it. It's one of my favorite series, but I like all of her books. So the first, it's a bunch of trilogies that all kind of interconnect. So the first one focuses on the vampires, and then the next one focuses on the fae, and then this one is the werewolf one. And so I'm reading this in preparation for her next trilogy, the first book coming out in December 15th. Okay, so this is a good book. It's getting me out of my reading slump. My problem is with Pip, who is the main character, the main girl. I don't like her. She's definitely one of those self-pitying female leads that I don't like. And I could see it for the first and second book. She wants to be more part of the pack. Obviously, this is werewolves, and she feels very disconnected. She doesn't feel like she belongs. And I get that. Like I said, for the first and second book, that could be a main plot point. But I'm over it now. I want her to be a little bit more, self-confident. I'm ready for her to step up, get over it. Because I can't take this for 3 books. And I love all the other characters, which is why I'm definitely going to continue reading. And I feel like it's fine. I can get over Pip's attitude, but it is definitely making this one of the less enjoyable of these series for me. And I think that's always kind of the weak point with werewolf series, is that they tend to be my least favorite, because it's just hard to do werewolf. In my opinion, it's hard to do werewolf stories that are really good. If you have any recommendations, though, let me know. Also, let's talk about my DNF, because when I tell you, I could not have foreseen that I would hate this book so much, because I loved the first 2 books in this series, and they were some of my top reads. So I'm talking about the Thursday Murder Club. I read the first book, loved it. Read the second book, really liked it. The second book did have a couple weird throw-in lines that I just felt didn't make sense, weren't necessary. But I'll get into that because it ties into why the third book just right off a cliff. So this is a story about four people, like four retirees. I guess they're called pensioners in the UK. They're retired individuals and they live in this place that's like not a care home, but it's like a retirement home, I guess. So you have Joyce, Elizabeth, Ibrahim, and Ron. And they all are in this Thursday murder club. They get together and discuss these unsolved murders, whether they be older murders or new ones. And that's like their fun little thing that they do. They're joined by two detectives that they've kind of roped in to help them. So there's Donna and maybe Mike is his name. I don't remember. I'll put it there. But Donna is the like the young, female detective that helps them. And she's kind of like their go-to person at the police station when they need help. And she's a pretty good character. So then they also have another character called Bogdan, who's a close friend to Elizabeth. I mean, he's a friend to all of them, but like he's very close with Elizabeth and her husband, and he's like their muscle. He kind of steps in to like do the dirty work when they need somebody, and he's a good character. But at the end of the second book, him and Donna meet, and you kind of get the feeling that there's going to be this setup for maybe a romantic story between them. And I wasn't loving the direction of Donna's character from the beginning because she is a detective, and when she's in her official like capacity, she's very capable. She's very like, professional. And then they have this whole thing of her backstory being that she moved to this place to get over her ex, which I didn't like. I was like, don't drag her down like that. But then she kind of has these hookups with these random people and, doesn't like them, but, ends up going home with them anyway. And I was like, don't do that to Donna. Donna's better than that. But I don't know why this was part of her character setup. So I was really thinking, okay, book 3, she's going to have like a great relationship. They're going to start this, slow burn with this Bogdan character who's, going to be, you already know he's a pretty good guy. We'll get into it. And I was excited to see where they were going to take this. So these were audiobooks I listened to with a really good narrator for the first 2. So the third book has a different narrator, and I can get over it. I can look past it. She is not as good as the original. But I was fine until I got to the chapter with Donna. So this book, I'll put it here, starts off with them investigating the murder of a reporter who died under, they believe suspicious circumstances. And they are interviewing her coworker who works at this news station, it's television news station. And then they're talking to him, trying to like get, information. And then we switch to Donna. And the scene is Donna's. We're in her mind. Sadly, we are there in her mind after a intimate encounter with Bogdan. Right after an intimate encounter. I don't know how you can say that without, I don't know. But we get to hear all her thoughts about, what just happened. And gosh, that's so cringe. So that's where we're at. And then she's like talking to him. And I will just say there is a reason that pillow talk should be between the two people that are on those pillows, because I do not want to hear this crap. I was so annoyed. I was immediately like, why are we here? Why is this where we started their relationship? Why? We didn't get anything. And then dead. So, I hated that for Donna. Hated it. And then he asked her if she's crying. And she's like, no, I'm okay. Like, why would I, and of course, Donna's immediately like, self-doubting and, wondering like where this relationship's going to go. Cause obviously they went right to his bedroom. And then she's like, well, maybe this is how he acts with all women. And we had to hear all of her like, oh, maybe tomorrow someone else will be here instead of me. And I'm like, maybe I should have talked about this before you got here. But no, that's not how we act. So then he starts crying. And I'm like, okay, so the like stoic, the muscle of the group is like in bed with Donna, having some cry, like just for no reason. And that's where I stopped. I jumped off of that so quick. I was like, no, this is not for me. I don't know why they did this to this character. Donna is a good character, but we got nothing for her. She gets no like build up to this, what could have been a really cool relationship. what could have made us actually invested in this romantic aspect where now we're suddenly, like, now we're in this room with them and they're talking about, you know, nothing. And like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It was so dumb. And I just don't understand why we need this in this series. It was so unnecessary. And this isn't the first time they've kind of like done this to Donna, where I'm like, oh, they did her so dirty. So in the previous book, her partner gets together with her mom. And like nothing graphic is said, but it's implied that she knows that her partner and her mom are being intimate or having intimate encounters. And I don't know how she would know unless one of them told her, which is gross. It's super gross. Like, do not. When you don't talk about your like to your adult kids about your romantic life. Spare me. So I don't know why that would be the case, especially since she's with, like, this is her partner at the, like, they're police. There is no reason she should have to deal with that at work. Like, leave her alone. Poor Donna. So yes, that was part of it. And it was like not a huge thing, but it was brought up several times where it's like, oh, you know, so-and-so, you know, I think his name is Mike, like I said, is with Donna's mom. And like they end up falling in love. And like they actually had more development of their relationship than Donna and Bogdan, who just, it's like, okay, they met. And then in the, you know, next book, their first scene is in bed. Why? Why did you do that to me? Also, the narrator gave Donna quite a breathy voice for a detective. And like, obviously you can't control your voice, but it made Donna seem very weak. And I didn't like that. Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta bring her down that way? Like, she's a female detective. Obviously she had to work to get there. Like, this is not, like, this would be a hard career path for her. And then you're gonna make her like, oh, I just don't know. Like, he's gonna maybe have somebody else in bed next week. I'm like, well, maybe. But if you didn't know, maybe you shouldn't have hopped in that bed. Like, and obviously, why the heck is he crying? What is this whole relationship? We don't know. We don't know because there's been no buildup. There's been no discussion. It's just, here we are. And I hate it. And I'm done. I'm DNFing that book. I think the only way I could read it now would be to get a hard copy and just like speed read through it and just skip, which I may do to finish up the series just to say I did, but not right now. I'm annoyed. And I really don't like that. I really was super invested in this story. I like the characters. I like the relationships that have been established. I really liked, you know, Donna just fine, but I liked Ibrahim and Elizabeth and Joyce and Ron. They're great characters. And then what is this? Like, what is honestly happening? So yeah, that's kind of just killed it for me. But I am traveling in a couple of days back to my hometown, so I will have some books on the plane, hopefully finishing up Pact of Dawn and Destiny. And then I'm going to read, oh gosh, what is it called? I think I have a couple options. I got some books when Audible had a sale, and then I'll take maybe a physical book, a Hercule Poirot novel for the plane because I like it. And I think We Have Always Lived in the Castle is one of my options, so I've heard that that's good. And then I got the second book in the Below Us series. I don't remember if it's what it's called. I'll put it there. So I could read that one and then discuss it when I get back, but I'll let you know. And yeah, let me know if you have any good werewolf stories for sure, or what you're reading this week. And if you have any travel plans for the holidays, let me know and I'll talk to you guys soon.